Just when we thought they found their stride, Mercedes is once again scrambling to find answers. Just a few days ago, we were given a glimpse of the W14 and how far the car has come since last season. Their first day in pre-season testing showed positive results, leading many to believe that they are headed in the right direction. But in a sudden turn of events, Mercedes star driver Lewis Hamilton called for an emergency meeting regarding their machines. What was this unplanned meeting all about? Keep your eyes peeled, you wouldn't want to miss this. The Silver Arrows held a cautious optimism for a rebound in 2023. However, their hopes have been dampened by Friday's difficulties, which raised concerns, particularly with regards to reliability following a hydraulic problem on George Russell's vehicle. Mercedes faced challenges with their car balance at the start, which were further exacerbated by Hamilton's bodywork damage and Russell's hydraulic failure, leading to lost track time. Hamilton finished the running in 13th place, with Russell 2 positions ahead, having completed only 26 laps. Mercedes experienced teething issues during the hotter sessions, following a somewhat promising performance in slightly cooler conditions last Thursday. Later in the Sakir evening, Lewis Hamilton was spotted alongside Toto Wolff, chief mechanics, and George Russell in what appeared to be an emergency meeting. Mercedes trackside engineering director Andrew Shovlin gave us some insight on what happened, saying, "We've not had a strong second day. Stopping on track with a reliability issue wasn't great, and we have struggled to get the car balanced well across the changing conditions. We've got some investigations going on to understand why this has been such a challenge today, when yesterday it was fairly straightforward. That work will continue into the night, and no doubt we'll understand more come this morning." Team boss Toto Wolff cleared the air regarding suspicions that his drivers were liable for the issues they experienced. "The car is out of balance this morning, and you can see it in the driving, leaving marks on acceleration. It's hot, and we just didn't find the right setup for these conditions, which is part of the learning, I guess, with the new car. It definitely is not the driver who's overdriving the tires or pushing it. It's the car that doesn't give him enough grip from the rear. So this is something we need to sort out over the course of the journey." Red Bull principal Christian Horner weighed in on the issue as well. He speculated that Mercedes might be deliberately holding back, not buying into the narrative that the Silver Arrows had a challenging last day of testing. When asked where to place Mercedes in the pecking order, he had this to say. "It's very difficult to say. Ferrari look like they're quick. Mercedes' form is difficult to read at the moment. Are they holding something back? We'll see this time next week." The comment followed a strong outing in pre-season testing by Max Verstappen, who appears to be poised for his 3rd world title this season. And although Horner is satisfied with his team's results, he's certainly keeping an eye out for the challengers. When asked about their test progress, Hamilton acknowledged that Russell's incident further compounded an already challenging start for Mercedes. He explained that although the team appears to have resolved their bouncing issues, they are encountering limitations in other aspects. When talking about the team's current status, Hamilton said, "I think it's difficult to sum it up. I think we've had a couple of difficult days. Yesterday particularly was difficult. The first day didn't feel too bad. Yesterday was a little bit more of a struggle. I think George has had a much better morning today, like the first day. I get to go in, so hopefully we've got the setup in a bit of a better place." And regarding their recovery from porpoising issues last year, he explained, "Right now, for example, the bouncing that we had has pretty much gone, so that's a huge step for us. It's nice to drive without the bouncing for once, but there are still some underlying things that we're working through." As he continues his pursuit for an 8th championship title, Hamilton expressed uncertainty regarding Mercedes' position in the hierarchy as they head into the season opener next week. He stated that it's challenging to determine their current standing. "Some of the balance limitations that we had last year are present. We're working through them. I'm really proud of everyone in the team for continuing to remain positive after a tough last year. Amazing through the winter for us to drive and have the mileage that we've had." And when asked how testing is going so far for the Silver Arrows, Hamilton had this to say. "It's been an interesting few days. It's never easy. There's been a lot of discovery. I think the thing that I have been most impressed with is that it's my 11th year with the team, and everyone's turned up with the same mentality, working hard. No one has been complacent. We realize that we have a mountain to climb and no one has fussed. Everyone has kept their heads down. Really proud of that. Everyone in the garage, back here and at the factory will be going through all of this data and pushing on. Reliability has generally been good. Obviously, we had a stop yesterday, but generally, it's been relatively good. At the end, it's always nice when the track gets a bit cooler and you put on the softer tires and see the steps between them all. We're not quite where we want to be, but it's a good platform to start from. And finally, Hamilton shed some light on which areas they need to improve on, mentioning the bouncing and straight line performance. Bouncing is gone. I mean, sometimes it occurs a little bit, but most of the time, it's not there. It's just a much beautiful world to be in when it's not bouncing, so you can see the road ahead. Better for the body. We do have some pace to pick up in a straight line. Hamilton's teammate George Russell also had a few words to say about how their testing went. The entry phase has been improved. I think it's no secret when you're watching the onboard videos that we are struggling a little bit with the balance, struggling a lot in the mid-corner. But I think it's a balance that is probably easier to solve than what we had last year. So even though there's still a limitation, let's say it's a good problem to have. Definitely in terms of feeling, it feels a step in the right direction. Compared to this time 12 months ago, things are running a lot smoother. When we were here last year, there were a lot of alarm bells ringing with porpoising. We weren't sure how to solve it. We were a bit lost. Things have been running much smoother. Reliability has been strong so far. For sure, we've got things we need to improve with the car. But generally speaking, we are where we would have expected to be at this time of year. As the W14 stands right now, Russell says that it would be ambitious for Mercedes to compete with Max Verstappen and Red Bull for a win in the first race of the Formula One season in Bahrain. We definitely believe that eventually, we will have a car capable of giving that fight. Whether we're going to have that next weekend in Bahrain, I think it may be a bit of a stretch. They look very strong, very stable. The car is looking really strong, and Max is performing really well. I think realistically, it will be a stretch for next week. But there's no reason why, eventually, we can't get there at some point this year. Now that you've heard the news, what are your thoughts on the matter? Is Mercedes going through a minor bump, or is it more serious than they make it out to be? Is Christian Horner right about his suspicion of the Silver Arrows holding back? How will Mercedes do in the 2023 season? Let us know down in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell for the latest F1 news.